Hello, 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 everyone. I'm so pleased and so excited and so moved by this interview. This is the first interview of 2024, and I have the honor to interview Ketsi Geller with all the other with all the other names. But before we start the interview, I wanted to share a story that I think that it's no coincidence, and I think it's something that really is characterize cosmic smashbooking. So I think I'm taking you back. I think it was no, it was I think August of 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And I was just finishing a class. It was 10 at night. I was already cross-eyed. I was so tired. And an email came in. And before it didn't go through my mind. My body just clicked and joined a session with you. I didn't even know you. It didn't come through you. It came from Elizabeth Foley, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm like, what is this thing? And I was in a Zoom group with, I think there were about 26 of us, and you were leading the session. And as we're going through the process, and I didn't say a word, I didn't present, I didn't introduce myself, I didn't say anything. And as we're going through the process and you're showing us and you're like leading a page and creating a page, suddenly Ketsi says, and here's a thing from Haifa, Israel. And I'm like, how come 26 women, or most of them are from either the United States, Canada, Europe? I'm the only Israeli. And not only that you mentioned Israel, you mentioned my city. And I'm like, oh, my eyes were like wide open, no more tired. And first of all, it was a very, very unique and different session because I was doing art journaling up to that point. I'm like, that's not art journaling. That's something completely. And I was amazed, and I was caught in the magic of cosmic smashbooking. The rest is history. And after that session, I reached out and I said, hey, I want to talk to you. I was not planning on going to any training, but I was like, nah, I'm going for this thing. And this has been one of the best gifts and investments. And I'm so happy to see what happened, over the past couple of years. And here we are meeting in this interview. So for those of you who don't know, Ketsi is the founder and the developer and the inventor and who knows what else of Cosmic Smashbooking, which is an incredible creative process that I will let you explain much better than me. And it was very important for us to get together, especially in this time, and talk about a very powerful healing and transformational tool, not to be used only behind the scenes, but as something that helped most of us bring our gifts into the world and put ourselves out there, especially in these chaotic times. So, Ketsi, would you like to tell a little bit about yourself before we dive into your journey?
Yeah, sure. So how it all started is that 2013, 2012, 2011, 2011, I got sober. And so I started, a different path of spirituality. And along that path, as I was looking around, it was like, where's the divine feminine? I started looking around, where's the divine feminine? And I met a couple women who said, well, there's a woman in Northern California who's been doing some things. And I checked in with the woman in Shiloh Sophia McLeod. And I checked in and said, okay, this is interesting. And then she had a couple of things with her mother, who was a little older than myself. And I was mesmerized by their dynamics and everything. And so I started to look more and more. And they had a program called the Red Madonna, and I was very intrigued. And I joined, but what I did not know was it was also an art class. It was also had art in it. And my own experience with art happened 10 years ago, previous to that. And I had created some paintings that scared me. They scared me to no end. And it wasn't until I started doing the work of intentional creativity that I realized, and I was never interested in making pretty things, but I didn't know exactly what it was that I wanted to do. And so Shiloh teaches a form of intentional creativity. And through this intentional creativity, I realized why they scared me so much, what I had created, because I created eyes. And what was happening is that the universe, my spiritual connection was looking at me through those eyes, and I could see it. And I did not have the spiritual container. I didn't have enough to hold me. So as a result of when I did those paintings, I then went on a 10-year run. I'd still lived a functional life, but I went on a 10-year run with alcohol. And so when I got sober and started looking for the divine feminine and entered that class and entered intentional creativity, the minute I walked in and saw what it was, I knew. I drank the Kool-Aid of intentional creativity immediately. And then through a class that she has called Color of Woman, it's a mystery school. Through a mystery school that she has called Color of Woman, they were doing paintings and they were doing things. I was starting to call in other things because I had a relationship. I had a previous relationship with these books that looked like this because I worked for paper converters. My background is as a software developer for 57 years. And I worked for a manufacturer who converted paper into these books. And these books are sewn down the middle. That's what makes them so very unique. And I had done a lot of things with them. I tried to create covers for them. I did create covers for them. I did a number of things, but in this course where she's on the canvas, these books are talking to me. And I was listening to them. And I just kept following me. And by this time I had discovered through Tisha Moore, I had discovered art journaling and I loved it. I just loved everything, about it. And let me show you a book just to give you a sense of a completed book of Cosmic Smash Booking, just to give you a feel. This is one that I did, and books to have themes. And this theme was born this way because here I was discovering who was I after, stopped drinking and choosing to have a different lifestyle. And I'm creating another one right now because years down the road, I'm not the same person. So just to give you a sense of Cosmic Smash Booking is that the rules of Cosmic Smash Booking are very important in the work that we do. And the rules are, number one is there are no rules. And number two is, I'm getting caught in myself. And number two is don't stop. And number three is to have fun because Cosmic Smash Booking, it's in the whimsy. All of us, I believe, and this work proves it, that you have everything that you need. You have everything you need to heal yourself. But how do you get to it? How do you figure it out? And this work comes through the back door of the heart. And the back door of the heart is full of whimsy. There's all kinds of things back there, looking for you. And so, like in this book, just to give you some ideas, I'll just show you. I'm kind of flipping through them here. But this is Mine Red Craighead. This is her work, who I love so very much. And so it can be that, it could, look like this. I've done work on, and because the other thing that we give up is beauty. And by that, I mean, because we're looking for information. You can, every once in a while, I do end up making pretty pages do show up. But in many cases, this is a very powerful page. And the beauty of this work is that, because when I was a kid, of course, I'm the oldest of 8 kids. There was no way as a teenager I was going to write in a diary. And even if I did, it was hard enough to keep anything secret. So this work is that you can process, and the way it works is you process and process, and no one will ever know what's underneath that. However, people will feel the, the intention, behind your book. Like people will pick up the book. And so even a page like this, which is something from another. So just to give you a feel of the books. So we use all different, oh, here's one. This is a perfect example. There's a lot of writing underneath this. This doesn't look like much, but there was a lot processed on this page. So we give up beauty. That's a piece about giving up beauty. And there's no rules, right? There's no rules to this. There's no compositional rules. There's no 1/3. There isn't any of that. So what happened in the course is I, asked, realized that what I wanted to do at the time was to work with recovering alcoholics. And I wanted to work with women who'd been on meth and had been on meth for a long time, and that they'd lost their children. And it's been a long time since they've lost their children, and they were coming out of that place. And to create something that would be able to cut through the brain damage that they had done to themselves, and to get through to that, and to do it cheaply and inexpensively. And also I requested, could I, it was like, okay, now that I'm giving you a list, could it also be a list for artists like myself who are stepping into their artist self and needed to create a body of work to get good at what we're doing, but I didn't want a lot of canvases around. I didn't want to have canvases for tabletops. And what is something that could create that great work? Oh yeah, while we're at it, I have these beautiful journals. They're so gorgeous. I still have, I probably have one 30 years old, has 5 pages done it, because it's beautiful paper, beautiful cover, and something that I'm not afraid to actually use. And oh yeah, by the way, could I bring in all the senses? Could I make it really important? I mean, I just kept making this list up. And oh, hey, and how about could I have, and all those things are in this book, all those things. Oh, and can I have a way in which to get, bypass this and bypass. And that's how Cosmic Smashbooking got created. I asked, and things just kept showing up. And then it became a process, and it's a system, and it's in the school of intentional creativity. And that's how it got created.
You said a couple of things, and you got me curious. But you started like the turning point was when you got sober, and I assume, but I'm asking you, you did go into the 12-step? I mean, this is how you got sober, by going into the 12-step program?
Actually, first, a compulsive overeater. That I knew very well. I didn't know that I was an alcoholic. I mean, I know I drank, and I know that I drank differently than other people, but it was really the overeating. I mean, I knew that addiction extremely well. And it was through my overeating that I stepped into a 12-step program.
Okay.
And it was, while I was in there, one of the things that you do is you list your red foods. Like, what foods are you addicted to? Like, I'm addicted to cold cereal. I don't think a cereal bowl is big enough for cornflakes, right? It's just horrific. And so I listed the red foods, and one of the red foods that I listed was wine, because I thought it was a food group. So I stopped cereal, I stopped alcohol. And then after a year, I thought, oh, you know what? I can go back to alcohol. And then someone said to me, well, why don't you wait a minute? Go step into AA and see if you hear your story. And I did. When I stepped into AA, then I heard the bigger story.
But the reason I asked you about that, I wanted to make sure that, because there are very strict rules in the 12-step program. And here you are creating something that the first rule is there are no rules. And so I wonder, and there's a lot of freedom to each and every one of us who's doing Cosmic Smashbooking to explore and to find our own way of doing Cosmic Smashbooking, following those rules. There are no rules. Keep going.
Yes.
Have fun. So I wonder how, from a very like strict, and the other thing, or when you spoke about Shiloh and the art journaling, where the aim is to get a beautiful page, and then you also need to follow certain rules if you want, the composition and all that. So this is like this. I'm thinking of you, knowing you. It feels like this is the rebel that says, "Fuck you all! I'm gonna do it my way."
Well, and the other side of the 12 steps is it isn't rules, it's suggestions. And it even says it says in the book, in the big book, I was looking to see if I could find, here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. So you do not have to, you don't, because can you imagine telling an alcoholic you have to follow these rules? It doesn't happen, but it says right here, here are the steps we took, were suggested, which are suggested as a program of recovery. So you could do them, you know, or not do them. And what that has supported me with is, as a rebel, which I didn't think still showed anymore, honestly. I didn't think it showed, but I guess it still does, is structure. I learned that structure supports, right? And so the structure of Cosmic Smashbooking is there are no rules. That is a structure, right? That is a structure. And don't stop. That's a structure, because you will suffer. I mean, you can stop. Here are the suggested rules of
Cosmic Smashbooking.
Of Cosmic Smashbooking. I suggest you don't stop. I can also say, if you do stop working on a page, it's going to hurt. You're going to pay a price either way if you stop working on an idea or something you're healing or something. And then have fun, you know, which does, when you're doing a page, you may not start out in fun, but somewhere along the line, the energy shifts, and then you step over into this other place where the information comes from.
And you mentioned also being a computer software developer. Can you see the connection between years of doing, you know, writing code and Cosmic?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Okay. And here's how. So I started, this is a great question, because I started in 1967, nothing, right? I mean, even how I fell into it, working for you know, there were no women in it at the time, and I'm 17 years old, and somehow I have it in my idea that this is the perfect. I remember thinking that is the career for me, because that's going to be ever changing, and it's going to keep my interest. It's going to keep me interested. At 17, I'm thinking this. Now, mind you, at 17, I'm also pregnant, and with a child who I eventually relinquished my rights to. So, I mean, my life was chaotic. And I remember thinking that. And what even made me think that I could do that? And that's when there was a part of me that started to teach me how to do this thing around computers. I didn't know at the time. It was, today we call it our muse. And I would argue with her. She'd tell me to do something, and I would do it this way. And I always eventually ended up doing the way my muse was teaching me. And this is when, and like I shared with you recently, this is when I've discovered that the women that I'm coaching today are women like myself, who are bringing something forward into the world that it's new. There's something new coming, and there's something new to, and we know, we may not know what it is, but we know that that's what we're bringing, but we don't have enough language for it, because there's a lot coming in right now that's new. There's a lot being born that's new. And so, and the way that I developed software, if there was anything new that showed up and whoever I worked, I was the first in line. There was no documentation. People were still developing it. It was always in flux, and that was where I thrived. And so that's the same thing with Smashbooking. Although it's the same muse. It's the same muse who's continuing to teach and bring me forward, and you know, to do that. And also, as a software developer, I was learning to develop software without language, because language is always, for me, is challenging to find the words to describe. And so I was learning to write code, but somebody would say to me, well, just add a conditional statement in there. You're like, what's a conditional statement? Oh, they would say, well, you know, it's then L. Oh, like, oh, that's what you call that. So I was doing all those things. So it's very much it's very much in alignment with my, and my skills were still very at the top when COVID came. And then my business life work changed, and stepped fully into teaching others to use cosmic smashbooking and then widening my scope because it had been a side, something that I was doing,
Side
on the
hustle,
side.
right? They call it a side hustle.
Yeah, it was definitely, it was my way of paying back to the community because I did take it into recovery centers and I was doing it online because I was already online as a software developer way before other people were, and I was working remotely for 20, years. I've been able to create that for myself. So yeah, so that's, it's organic. Just curious, like it's curious.
Yeah. So I have two more things that came up for me while you were sharing. You said that before I mean, you did some artwork that scared you, and you mentioned the eyes. Now, this, that struck me because both of us are projectors, and both of us are here to see the others, not necessarily ourselves, but and our eyes can, if they're not invited to see and to show the way, can look very scary, or even people can experience us as penetrating their field, and it's not comfortable for them. And I
Yeah.
wonder about those eyes. What if you can were you afraid of the power of your eyes, of what you see and what you can show others, or were there
Yeah, I have not. I have what's I believe. Well, it was the universe looking at me. It was the universe. I mean, so the first time, which was recently last year, when I saw the pictures from the James Webb Telescope of the galaxies upon galaxies upon galaxies that we could see without. That's what was looking back at me. And what would that be? 2000. Yeah, in the year 2000. That's what looked back at me through those eyes that I created. Was the universe was looking at me, and I didn't have. I mean, I didn't have a container to hold that until intentional creativity.
So I'm thinking of, I mean, knowing you and knowing some of your your whimsy aspects. Another thing that you tend to do is like that you have this character of yourself with the
Oh yeah, I don't have him sitting here.
the goggles, right? The
Yes.
goggles.
Yeah, my goggles are on the altar. Yeah, I have two pairs. My vision ones, and then my working goggles, right? Yeah. Um,
So
yeah,
and I'm connecting it to the eyes because these are eyes that have
yeah,
put something on them, and
yeah,
then the way you look at the world through those goggles.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's curious. Yes, because we all have gifts and our gifts can scare us. And my gifts well, I didn't know this is gonna sound weird, but because I don't know that it's exactly right, but my gift scared people so much that I began monitoring it and then eventually stopped using it because I could see things. I could see things, and I used to just blurt it out, and that would out people before they were ready, and so that piece is that, like, when and what I'm getting at is that everyone is born to deliver something. Everyone has higher meaning in life. They're designed for something, and so I can feel that about someone and support them and find what that is, because today I don't blurt it out because it gets to be self-discovery. But when you know what it is, you can support people through the questioning to support them, like, what is it that you feel about this? You said that, like you're doing with me now, so coming from that place now, because that's wisdom, born of pain. And then I might not always remember someone's name, but I will remember your vision.
Mm.
How how's that thing going that you wanted to help the homeless with? And that's a challenge because many people step off of it. And when they share it with you, they step off of it and they don't want to be brought back to it because they're sidestepping it. And And the world needs us now. The world absolutely needs what you're here for, to bring forward, because you were born for this time, given the skills you were given. You've been through what you've been given through. You know, like I remember when I finally discovered what my real mission was, it was like, oh, all those things that I went through have come to have meaning in this moment. And it's still, you know, like that. Even now, I could say, oh, you mean that the things I've been through in the last 10 years are coming to this moment of what I'm bringing forward. And it's true for everyone.
So I want to touch upon um, one of the things with Cosmic Smash Booking, especially those who are trained to lead others, first of all, which is something that I believe in, is first do the work on yourself and then you can do the work on others. But you have this thing about heal yourself enough and transform yourself enough before you can go out and deliver. Can you share a little bit about your journey? What was your first journey that you took yourself through, like heal myself enough and transform myself enough with Cosmic Smash Booking, and then went out and delivered your work, and what it was like for you to do the inner work and the work with yourself before you went out and helped others?
Oh, that's a great question. Discover Cosmic Smash Booking. You know, I'm just doing, and then it was, and I was doing it to heal myself at the time, asking, you know, who am I? All these things, because again, coming out of and stepping into a new way of living, not using alcohol as a way to cope, or new feelings were coming up, new things were happening. So it was like, who am I? And so I just was showing up to the page and didn't have an idea, but listening to that muse piece and an art journaling piece, you know, using some art journaling techniques that I had seen online. And then what happened? Oh, and then so when I completed Color of Woman, I then went to a recovery center and said, hey, I got something here. You got some free time. You got time here with an art. Let me come in and do this for free, because I wanted to see what I had a hold of. And so every time I went into the art center, every time I went into the recovery center and delivered it, I would come out saying, what the hell is this? I remember one woman, very masculine, very, very masculine, made this book that was so pink and frilly. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, no wonder she's so miserable. There's a part of her that's not being expressed. And then I started to see that, and I pretty soon I said, whoa, what do I got a hold of here? And so it was just this constant, like, what do I got a hold of? And so the healing enough part of me was my own, who am I? And that's where, like, this book that I'm showing you, who's Born This Way was one of them. Another one was Who Lives on This Planet? Who Lives on Planet Cat? These are some of my favorite books, which is why this year I'm going back into that discovery, because life has changed. So we're entering into a whole new way of, you know, living. But that's how, and that heal enough part is you don't wait till you're healed, because you're never healed, but you're healed enough so that when I would go and teach, while I would share my story, I wasn't the story. Mm-hmm. You know, I was having the breakdown. I was having breakdowns outside in the page with support people, but I was not the breakdown in the teaching. And then the way Cosmic Smash Booking works is we're guides, right? I'm not a teacher. I'm not a healer, really. I'm a guide to your own, and all the teachers are a guide to your own, you know, certified teachers are a guide to their own, they're guiding you to your own, you're healing yourself.
And I think that the question that kept, you know, I was challenged with all the time, because, you know, I'm holding here my new Cosmic Smash Booking, Cosmic Smash Book for the year. Yeah, that I keep on, you know, confused. The Cosmic Smash Booking is the process, and the Cosmic Smash Book. And at the same time, I'm multitasking. So I have like also an art journal. And a lot of people ask, what is the difference between art journaling and cosmic smashbooking.
Yeah. Well, my experience, my personal experience, I love art journaling. I do. I love to art journal. And art journaling for me, when I am art journaling, I am going for beauty. When I'm art journaling, I am going for beauty. When I'm doing a face, I mean, yes, they still talk to me. However, when I'm doing a Cosmic Smash book, I'm going for information. I'm going contextually, because the way it works starts with a query, like, how the heck do how I have this thing happening in my life. So example, my marriage went kaboom after 35 plus years. And how do and I didn't get the memo. So it was a bit of a surprise how it ended and the way it ended. So how do I still have a business? I'm still working. How do I manage life and not kill anybody or do anything to get me? Because I had many ideas on what I wanted to do. And I didn't want to get arrested and be in jail, and be imprisoned, because I'm certainly capable of doing some things, to do that. And I didn't want to go there. And how do I not hurt the clerk helping me at the store and be nasty to him because I'm hurting? And so that's how some pages got created, resting pages. How do I rest and pause my emotions long enough to show up for my customer? So I'm not, I was a software developer coding at the time, and not be crying, talking to a customer and blurry, So does that answer the question?
Yeah, it's interesting the distinct, yeah, like you distinguish between going, for beauty versus going for a place to express, and also a place to get information for your, and or
Right.
answers for your questions or your queries. And I wonder, because I'm not, I mean, I've done a lot of art journaling, but I didn't, study it I didn't take the training to become a teacher of that. But my sense is also that when you work with Cosmic Smashbook, when you work with the entire, with both sides of the pages, versus I've seen art journals that you have one creation on one part of and it, and there's no connection between
Right.
them. And you work in a different way with when you open the book, you work with with both pages. Can you
Right.
elaborate a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So there is science behind cosmic. I didn't know there was science behind it. I was doing what I felt led to, but there is science behind all of this. And one of the things is there is magic, and not everybody can do this. There is magic in having this line. I'm looking for any of these pages. There is a magic in having this line. And underneath all of this, there's a lot of writing. There's a lot of processing that's all underneath this, that's going across this line. And even when we create a page, something goes across the line that brings all that into context. I can always, when people are like not exactly sure, I can tell that there isn't something going, across, isn't going across the pages. I'm looking to see if I have, if I have one in here, and I'm sure I do. Here's one here. Here's a page that doesn't have something going across it. You feel the difference? Yes, the color is going across, but there's still, yeah, there's still, so there is magic in crossing that line. And it has to do with right brain, left brain synapses, pulling them together. And I don't, right now, I still have not gone into when I hear things, it's like, that's the technology. That's the technology that I'm using. But because I can get up here so much, I am choosing not to go there right now. When I write the book, I'll go there. But I'm concerned that I go up in there right now, that I'm going to lose the magic, because now I'm up in my head.
Yeah. So if you mention magic, And then I think I will invite you to guide us through a page, but magic. I think I told you that I was not working at the time. I was planning on going back to work. And I was taking one of your workshops with the wisdom and your gifts and and I said, okay, I need to prepare myself to go out and offer my gifts to the world. And I chose a photograph of a pretty woman. She was she looked like of like Indian descent. And that's not me, black hair, pretty with her makeup on. And I was like, yeah, I need to be presentable, but when I'm going out into the world. And surely enough, about 2 months, somebody approached me and she said, I want to work with you. I said, I'm coming back to work in November. If you are willing to wait, I'll meet with you. And then she called me in November. And the first time I met her on Zoom, I'm like, holy crap, she looks exactly like the woman in my Cosmic Smash book. So I went and downloaded her pictures from Facebook and I put it next. I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly. And speaking of manifesting, after that event, by the way, I worked with her and it took about 3 months because I incorporated Cosmic Smash Booking into our mentoring. And I said, I have to be honest with you. I want to show you the power of this tool. Look, you were in my field before I even met you and saw you. And like, she was really shocked at and the other thing is I was about to start a workshop and I'm like, go, let's go manifest. And I put, there were 3 cats and shadows of cats. And guess what? I interviewed 8 people and only there were 3 in the group, me and and I'm like, oh gosh, I should have put 8 cats next time, not just 2 and shadows. So it was, and I want, because you spoke about going to mystery school. Can you share some mystery or things that are like, because I did not intend to pull her into my life. I just made the page and she showed up.
And what is the mystery you're inquiring about? How this is a mystery school?
No, how can you I'll be blunt. How can you use it as a witchcraft tool?
Okay, let's go there. And what I'm going to do is and so let's just go there. Let's just go there. I'm going to put the camera down and I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to walk and here's the query. Here's the query. It's the beginning. Here's the query. This is our new beginning. All of us. There is a new beginning that's taking place. Astrologic, all over. There's a new beginning that's happening. And you may feel the pull. I suspect you're feeling the pull. And the pull, and many of us are saying, what is this pull? Pull. What is this pull that we're feeling? And where is my part in it? And I know I have a feeling that I'm supposed to do something different. I have a sense that there's something else that I get to be doing in the world. I've been unhappy over here. What is this new thing? And I want you to know that it's happening. It's all part of what's happening in the collective, and it's all part of what's happening, everywhere. So I'm proposing that today, because I have a workshop that I'm going to invite you to, and this is like a preparation for the workshop. And this is like we're gonna. The query is there something? The query can be: is there something I'm supposed to be doing differently? Is there somewhere else where I'm supposed to be showing up? Does this mean that thing that I've always wanted to do, open that store, do this thing? I've always dreamed of doing this. Is this the time? And the answer is yes. This is the time. It's happening. It's like I say. So, but you don't believe me. So here's how this works. I'm going to put my camera down here.
I just want to say that you can't make that shit up, because at first I wanted to work with my old Cosmic Smash book, and I'm like, no, this is a new beginning. You put it in your new book, right? Near perfection is not touch the new book. But I opened it and look, there is a
Oh my God. I have, oh my gosh.
so like I asked you about witchcraft, and here she is.
I have that ribbon sitting in, but yeah, it's not here. I have it. It's interesting. So, okay, so I'm gonna put my camera down. I'm gonna put my camera down here, and I'm gonna walk us through this. So, if you have a piece of paper, then I want you to fold it. If you have a piece of copy paper, I want you to fold the copy paper so that there is a line down the middle. And then what we're gonna do here, is we're going to write for about 5 minutes. I'll play some music. You set the share up for me. So I'll play some music. And for 5 minutes, we're going to write. And the query, like for instance, a query can be, am I supposed to be, is there something else I'm supposed to be doing? And remember, there's no rules. So whatever the query is for you that's coming up right now is your query. And I'm here to support you and inspire you. So, yeah. Anything else you think I need to add, Neely?
No, I am with you. I'm now following
Okay.
your guidance.
Okay, here we go. So, okay, so we're going to write for 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play some music while we do this for 5 minutes. And you don't think, just stream of consciousness, right? Just stream of consciousness and just let it flow. Questions like, am I finally supposed to do what I've been dreaming of doing? It could be a query. Am I here to finally do it? To do it? The it thing that's been in your mind. Is it now time to admit that there's been something you've been wanting to do that you're afraid to tell anybody else about? You get to write all this. You get to write all this down. Maybe you're like me. Maybe you've been doing something, but now you're being asked to do something and have it be even bigger. Or maybe you're being asked to do something and have it be a different kind of message. Maybe, maybe your feelings of being too much or too little or it's getting in the way. And now you know that this next step is you get to be too much, right? Not that you will be, but you feel like that's what it is. Maybe this new way of being is being called forth. Maybe that's what you're writing about. Okay, just one more minute and then we'll start. And once you like cross the line and you're gonna have more to write, you just keep writing. Just keep writing on top. Okay, so next what you're going to do is you're going to take something color, anything. It could be a colored pencil, it could be a marker. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use a darker color so that you can see it. And now we have a prayer. And the prayer sounds like this. I think I can use this. The prayer sounds like this. Please show me. And you're going to go across this line also. Please show me, tell me, inform me, guide me, instruct me. And anything else you think you might need, like for instance, ground me. I need grounding. I need to keep my head out of the air, my feet on the ground, and and myself in my body, not outside my body. Calm me, calm me. Sometimes I need to be emboldened, give me the courage to do something, embolden me. Do you have other things that you add, Neely?
Inspire me.
Inspire me.
Encourage me.
I use resource me.
Oh, yes.
Resource me. And then when there's, you feel that's.
They regulate me or co-regulate me as well.
Oh, that's good. Co-regulate me. And then when you complete, you just keep, and you start from the beginning. Please show me. Tell me. Because what we're doing here is we're entering into possibility. We think we know what we need, but maybe that's not it. Tell me.
Alchemize me.
What's that?
Alchemize me.
Alchemize me. Ooh, that's a good one. Alchemize me. Alchemize. Okay. So now you've written over because you can't really read that. And now what happens? Now what we do is now we're going to use color. And we're going to use color like this is a cauldron or this is a stew pot. And what we're going to do now is by using color, and you can use anything you have, I'm going to use good old I'm going to use crayons. And I'm going to pick 3 colors of crayons. Just speak to me. Don't think too much about this, but I always love this color. And today I'm feeling pink. I'm feeling pink probably because I'm going to wear it. Ooh, you know, I've got rose and pink. Huh, interesting. You know, I'm going to choose 4 colors because guess what? There are no rules. There are no rules. There are no rules. Yeah, that works. Okay, and then how you make the when we use play with color, because we're playing with color here. So if you have acrylic, watercolor, pencils, markers, you're gonna take it, and then you just start making and playing, like, you know, stirring the stew, you know, stirring the stew around. Because what we're doing here is that we're mixing in what we wrote down in here with the possibilities and just play. Oh yeah, I like the rose color. And just play. Like my movements are always rather, but you could, you know, just scribble in, but we're not making symbols here. We're just playing in the color. I'll play some music. We're gonna just do this for a while. I'll play some music while you're playing away there. Something else you can do with it is create to the music. Like, let me show you. Turn your page. It's good for you. Be sure you go across your line. I have one here. I'm going to play. I'm going to add a little bit of magic in here. If you're someone who's playing with the music, here's one for you. Isn't that fun? Okay, so all right, so now we have moved everything around, and now there are no rules to this. So what does that mean? What that means is what that means is that there are no rules. So what that means is what happens next. I'm going to make suggestions on what to do next. You can follow me. You already may have some idea what wants to show up. But one of the things that I've been doing just recently is using collage. And so I've gone through a magazine and I've been pulling things out. And
before using collage.
Yes, you see there, it's just gorgeous. And what I have been doing is normally what I was pulling out before were things that I was interested in. This time I went through, and I'm doing it even more, going through and what my feeling, what feels. And because the question I'm asking up, because I've had you in mind, look at it, we go. These aren't, I drew mine when I saw these. These are waxwing and chiffchaffs. They're not in my neck of the woods. And so I've gone through here and I've been going, and so a suggestion is you can use collage and go through collage and look for pictures that just speak something to you. It could be one picture. Let me show you. It could be one picture. Like there's one that just keeps talking to me all the time. It just won't go away. Let me show you. And this one here, like this coffee cup, it's like two eyes looking out at me. I don't know why. I just like how it feels. And we don't listen to the other part of you, like, what does that mean? That's not where I'm going for here. I love this bowl. There's something about this here, the weighing and the talking. But today, in the context of we're talking about, which is what is it that we're being called to do? What is it that you're being called to do? Maybe you see something like this and say, "Ooh, I've always wanted to create crossword puzzles. I've always wanted to, so whatever just feels right to you." And that's what I'm doing through here. I'm just kind of doing this. Like I love how that looks. But what the ones that I've really liked how they look recently, I've been out of this one book, and let's see. And maybe there's more than one thing that's standing out for me. Like I love this. This is a painting of someone out of the West. I love this.
Wow.
In fact, I'm going to pull this one for today. I'm going to pull this one for right now. But you could also pull elements out. Like for instance, I have some where I've pulled, when I say elements, like there's just one piece. There's one piece, or what I'm working with, thinking about things, or doing puzzle pieces. I also, this one here keeps just hanging around. I really like this with a light bulb and I don't know why. And here is a sparrow. This is the one I was thinking of.
Oh, the sparrow. This is
Yeah,
not
look.
sparrow. It's the
I know. When I saw this, that was like, this is you. This, I love this cheetah, cats. I'm so grateful my cats are small. And so one of the things I've been asking is, and now I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to go back. And one of the things I've been asking is, who am I? Who am I? Who am I today? Or that is the center of these things. So as you can hear, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the music. And again, this is about, I've given you some ideas here to inspire, but there are no rules. So that means that whatever is coming up for you is absolutely right. So let me be clear. I'm using collage right now, going through, looking for what just feels right at this moment. I'm not giving it a lot of thought. I'm giving it more thought because I'm explaining it to you. But right now I'm going to put aside that thought and go in. And you may, and the other question I'm looking at is, I'm saying, is that me? Is that me? Does that feel like me? And again, thinking, it's feel. We're into this feeling thing. And also, to be clear, you may be called to start drawing something. You may be called to go and look something up, print something out from your Pinterest. It is all perfect. You have, rule number one is there are no rules. Rule number two is, once we start this, don't stop. I mean, you'll have a pause and you need to go do things, but staying in the conversation of this. And then number three is have fun. Just like, okay, woo, it gets to show up. So here we go. And I'm going to give us a little time to do this here. Give us about 10 minutes. Because another thing is, time is, and you can pause here and come back, whatever works for you, because there are no rules. are no rules to this, but for video purpose, this is what we're going to do here. Give us about 10 minutes. And let's see, am I able to share again? Yep.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Yep. Cool. Cool. We're gonna play something a little more magical. Okay. Okay, I think that's a good place to stop. Now, the point is, you may not be done, and that's all perfect.
Wow.
That is all perfect. Like, I decided that I loved this page, but I chose to stretch myself and draw it, right? Make it more mine. You can do that. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. And in fact, like, it's almost like, wait, 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 where's my pink cheeks? Give me some pink cheeks here. Before you go, don't stop. Where's my pink cheeks? Yeah, there we go. Give her little pink cheeks up in here. Yeah. Okay. They're very demanding, and it can be very demanding. So no way by no way is my page. So I took something, that spoke to me, because the goggles have been something going on, being curious, going out and looking. And I just did a really quick, little sketch, um, sketch of her. And so what I'll do now is I will cut her out and I will put her on here, and I will continue to be in connection with this drawing, uh, as I continue, to ask that question and be in conversation with it. But this is a good place to stop. So you may not be done, and that's
No, I'm
typically,
not, and it's kind
but
of,
rule number 2 is don't stop.
I won't stop. And it's we the sparrow showed up, but
Oh, look.
and in Hebrew, sparrow is pashosh. And when you want to tell somebody, oh, you're so cute, אתה כזה פשוש, פשוש,
Push, push those like a little sparrow. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it was like, with all
Yeah.
the paint and yeah. And maybe it's a good time. I mean, first of all, thank you for leading and for letting us and whoever is watching this to experience, not just talk about it, but to cosmic smashworking is not something you talk about. You do, you experience, you go through, and then you discover and recover. And you have so many things happening while you're doing this. Um, yeah, you talked about the information and the pages that are talking to us, and we can leave it overnight and then come back in the morning. Suddenly, whoa, there's something else going on, and we can keep on, going, or maybe create to continue on a different page with whatever comes up for us. And I wanted to share. I mean, Ketsi is in California. I live in Israel. Ketsi has a very warm connection with Israel because you lived here for a while. And we all know that not only in Israel, worldwide, but specifically, at least, I mean, I'm talking from my own personal experience, there's a lot of pain and chaos. And I see a lot of my fellow friends and my colleagues and even women that are leaders and usually are out there, everybody's like, I want to go under the blanket. Too much pain, too much helplessness, too much stuff going on. And it's never ending. We're still in chaos. We don't know what's going on. And we wanted to talk about the importance of showing up in times of chaos, because it's even more important now than any other time. And then invite people to the wonderful workshop that you're holding next week. Yeah.
Thank you. And that showing up piece. I'd love to tell this story about this man who was very sick, old, and was unable to, and he was at his church or his synagogue, and his job was to wipe down the seats of the bus before they went to go pick up people. And someone was saying, why are you doing this? And he shared that what he did every Sunday was, as he was wiping the seat, he was praying for the person's butt who was going to be, for that person whose butt was going to sit there, that that they would gain something by. So it doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be big. It can be, something small. And it's all different for each one of us. And the workshop that I have coming up is called Authenticity Becomes You. And the tagline is basically like, show up. show up, whatever that, whatever that may be. And so we're stepping into what does showing up look like? Because yeah, it's really easy right now to tap out. It's so easy to tap out. And I'm of the belief that each one of us, if you've watched this far, for sure, you're being called to show up in a way that you haven't shown up before. And what is it? And we're opening the cosmic egg and seeing what spills out for you.
And I can just add from the Israeli point of view that when all this stuff is going on, a lot of people are ashamed. Like, who am I now to show up when there's, so many people are being injured and killed and hijacked and kidnapped and all the Trump. I mean, it's not the time now and I say, no, it is the time, because these people need support and they need people to help them. And if we are going to be dragged into a dark hole, we're not going to be, really helping any, other people. So it's shame. And also it's called the survivor's guilt, that, oh, I survived, or I'm not affected directly by it, so I'm not entitled to live my life fully because other people are suffering. And yes, other people are suffering, but they need us. And if we collapse, we're all going to collapse. So yeah, I wanted to add that because that's what's happening.
The family collapse.
Yeah.
The family collapses. And yes, and I'm team humanitarian is where my position is. Team humanitarian.
Yeah. So what we will send you the link so you can dive in and read more about the workshop and get all the information and sign up and participate. And so you can experience Cosmic Smash Booking over 3 days, right? It's a 3-day workshop, and dive deeper into this work and see what comes up for you and what you can explore through this work. And definitely put it as like, I'm going to heal myself. And I say authenticity, if you want to be authentic, you need to take care of your shame. Otherwise, you can't show up authentic. You need to come up as you are, as you are meant to be. And loved is accepted for who you are, with your weirdness, ugliness, quirkiness. Yeah. Katsi.
Thank you.
Thank
Neely,
thank you. Thank you so much for this wonderful time together, for the conversation and your wisdom and the experiential part, and getting to know you and Cosmic Smash Booking, and hopefully those that in Hebrew we say patachnu lahem et hata'avon, that we open the appetite for them, or awaken their appetite. I really invite you to join this lovely workshop. Now the cat will walk all over the place.
Now they're here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So thank you so much, and thank you for all of you who are watching and stayed with us till the end of this interview. And hopefully we'll see you again in the future, in the near future. And yes, follow Katsi. Yeah, lots of magic happening there.
Thank you.